Hello there, folks. Welcome to another Train Sim Classic video. Today we're going to take a look at a new product from developer Travel by Train. This, of course, is the GP40 pack, which you can procure now for $9.99 in American monies. And it is deemed early access, like a lot of unfinished products nowadays in the gaming world. They just call it early access and ship it. Bam. Anyway, you're going to get 5 variants. You're going to get the Western Pacific, Burlington Northern, CP Rail, Conrail, and Chessie or B&O. Now, they're noted to have custom sounds, advanced brake scripts, which I'm not looking forward to, and also a bacon light, like Kevin Bacon. I'm assuming he meant to type beacon light, like the Burlington Northern one there on the right. So it's got a beacon light. And there are quick drives included as well. And just a little super duper duper tiny bit about the EMD GP40. This was built by the Electromotive Division and dubbed the GP40. It was a 4-axle diesel electric locomotive built mid-60s to early 70s. It, of course, had the 645 E3 prime mover 16-cylinder at 3,000 horsepower, and it was turbocharged. Western Pacific had over 40, numbers ranging 3501 to 3544, and then 01 through 16 had some kind of specific headlight deal, which I don't think this entails at all. Burlington Northern largely took CB&Q's roster of the GP40s, and that's where they got theirs. I think they had about 40 as well. Roughly, they were numbered 3,000 through 3,039, and then 71 and 76 in the 3,000 series, of course. CP or CP Rail had them. I think they acquired them from Sioux and Milwaukee. They had a couple that I distinctly know of, which is 4007 through 8. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one. This is 4631. They might have acquired them from somewhere else. Conrail, of course, had a bunch of ex-Penn Central shit. 3000 through 3270 something. And then Chessie, or B&O, from C&O, and Chessie, had 3684 through 3779. And then they also had a 4000 series that went from 4000 to 4064. But anyway, we're going to take a look at them here and see if there's anything new or fresh or just ever slightly exciting about the pack. So you can tell right off the bat, he's done some weathering in texturing and things like that. And, you know, it's new for his models. Travel by Train, this developer, it's new, but it's, you know, it's got a long way to go. It doesn't look great. It's all very chunky. It just doesn't look the best. You know, there are some scratches and notable weathering and things like that, but it's you know, it's a start, I guess, but it's a long way to go, especially with the kind of offerings that we get nowadays, you know, in this year, 2023, of course. But again, you know, like with a lot of Travel by Train stuff, the colors just seem so off. You know, same kind of stuff as DTM. They're basically the same company, even though they're not. They're, you know, they're separate now, but they used to work together, DTM, TBT. So that's why it's always kind of the same stuff between the two companies. You know, it's just one guy per. And both of their models always just look very paper mache, very flat. There's no depth. The colors are just off. Nothing pops about it. It's just, this looks like something that's 10 years old. You know, while texturing has been updated, I guess, and weathering and things like that, they just don't, you know, they don't scream at you like, you know, hey, look at me, like some of the stuff we get. But you'll also notice right off the bat, nothing's been changed about the square exhaust. I mean, come on, man. It's 2023. Let's start fixing some stuff like that. It's yikes. It's yikes. But So the colors don't look that great, right? They don't really pop. You know, none of the markings or reportings or anything like that kind of pop either. They're just very muddy and dark and gray. But you know, we'll of course go over that. But I will say the undercarriage of the frame does look a little bit better than recent travel by train or DTM offerings. Definitely the best out of the two as of late. You know, it's one thing doing it on a darker kind of gray area like this versus whatever the hell that paint's supposed to be. Of course, the coupler looks like ass. Sadly, that hasn't changed. It's just old, you know, plastic coupler turned brown. Just doesn't look very good. That could be reused as well. The area that houses the coupler is just this kind of flat, plasticky look. This down here, that doesn't look very good at all. Still got the same old, you know, MU cables, air hoses, all that look precisely the same as they always have. But there are some things, some corrosive weathering and things like that on the pull bar up here, which, you know, that looks okay, all things considered, as far as like travel by train or DTM history. I'm always going to lump them in the same category because they basically are the same, even though they're two separate developers. You know, so that looks okay to a degree, certainly. I'm noticing a new, looks like he got a new diamond plate. That definitely looks different, diamond plate texture. It does not look good. You can see some definitive squares in there and how it just kind of ends. You know, right there. That's not what diamond plate looks like on a surface. It's just this very sharp line. It just doesn't look good. It's also got this kind of pinkish, purplish hue to it from afar, almost like blue jeans or something. It doesn't look right. So yeah, that's the thing overall. You know, they just don't look very good color-wise. Modeling, I'd say, is about the same. Nothing's changed there. It's just like he discovered substance painter or whatever the hell was used. You know, kind of like DTM did with that friggin' P40 abomination. You know, same kind of thing there. But the undercarriage does look a bit better. It's nice having some actual weathering under here instead of it just being black or gray. But one thing I did notice right off the bat is these trucks and the leaf springs in specificity are missing a hanger right here. We had the same issue with the F7 pack from DTM. There's supposed to be a kind of squarish hanger right here, and it looks very funny because it's not there. It definitely protrudes from the exterior axle. I'm fairly certain. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below, or if you guys has always noticed anything, because I'm not going to notice every single little thing. But it looks funny. It definitely looks like something's missing there. It's even got the two, you know, brackets where the damn thing's supposed to be. It's just not there. Also, so it's a fuel tank down here, right? What's this, reservoir for the air up here, this tank right here? It looks funny as well. It's like it's jammed in there. It's like when you lose a piece of food to your couch cushion, you know. It's just jammed way in there. Realistically, I believe those are kind of poked out a bit in line with the fuel tank itself. So you don't even kind of notice that they're there. But they definitely could move, you know, to the exterior quite a bit. It just doesn't look quite right. So that is the generality of all the models, as far as I can tell so far, and we'll look at them one by one here. So one more thing I did notice before we go into specificities per road engine is this diamond plate texture kind of waterfall effect right here. Big yikes. Big old freaking yikes. That looks pretty bad. I'm going to assume it's on all of them. Indeed it is. That was actually painted. That one's not. And that one's not. So it's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So this, of course, is the Burlington Northern unit right here. As far as I can tell, he got the paint areas correct. White handrails, grab irons, things of that nature. You know, little things like that seem to be on par and okay. You'll notice a lot of inconsistencies with lines and striping and things like that. You'll see it kind of jaggy jag right there. Another one right there. I mean, there's people that make freeware paints out of the goodness of their own heart that look better than this. And this is for monies. This is monies. You're expected to pay. But again, the problem with, you know, it's a lot of developers deem shit early access nowadays and just think that that's an excuse to just release an unfinished product. And it's total BS, you know. It's like, stop doing that. Finish the product before you release it. And TBT in particular, I mean, Jesus Christ, I've seen, you know, 24 items that he's like teased or said this is early access or this is in development, and they never come to fruition. He'll start one thing in early access and then move to another freaking locomotive, and you'll never hear anything about the other one again. I don't get it. Just stop doing that. Just make one really nice product. We don't need 5 different liveries or variants. Just select one and do that one thing really good, you know? And then once you do, then sure, branch out, you know, all that. But it's missing the identification on here, or the road unit. It should be like right here, I think. Yeah, so there's nothing there. There's no builder's plate, no EMD plate, nothing like that as far as I can tell. We looked at the weird truck thing, missing the hanger. And that the tank right here that's shoved too far in. So something that's weird about the stripes on the nose, and that's what these are famous for, this livery in particular. They look a bit off here as well. They seem a little too thin. If you look at pictures of these things from real life, you know, back in the day or whatever's left now, they just don't really pair up with what you see here. I feel like they should be shifted up and to the left some. The white stripes should be a little bit thicker. And a lot of these panels like this down here are painted over as well. So those should have white striping as well. You know, stuff that I've seen, you know, the problem with a lot of these old locomotives is, you know, they get painted and, you know, change hands over time. A lot of little tiny details change. But I'm pretty sure those should be painted over. And the nose stripes just look really thin and off for some reason. So the numbers look okay. The font of the numbers, you can see some of it's jacked up. Like this straight line on the 6 here, that does not look good at all. This kind of just crappy looking flat thing that was placed where the brow headlights go. You know, that could have been much better than whatever that looks like. And it's got no horn. So a lot of these had the horn placed in the back there, if I'm not mistaken. This one just does not have a horn at all. I feel like he saw pictures of this thing when he made it and saw the picture from like down here, and he's like, okay, no horn. You know, he just didn't put a horn on it. You know, it does have the side bell down here, which does not look very good. Look how that doesn't match anything else down here. Stuff doesn't look like that. Unless it's a brand new damn bell, which I highly doubt it is. Stuff just doesn't look like that. It's just too much of a contrast. You know, but some of the weathering on the tank and all that does look okay. It's definitely a step up from stuff in the past. The glass still looks terrible. It's just very like thin looking. It's got that kind of blue. It doesn't look good. It's like a blue gray. You know, give it some kind of different color or something. A little bit of darkness. I don't know, whatever. This guy's driving his imaginary car here. Yeah, the blue glass thing is done. It's over. So here we have the bacon, Kevin Bacon, crispy bacon. You can see this weird like yellow textured square in here. I guess that's supposed to be where the light comes from, the flash or whatever. It kind of looks like ass. You can tell this thing was newly modeled because it looks totally different than everything else. I'm going to assume a lot of this model was taken from the GP40X series, which he has released like 50 different variants of. You can see some paint peeking through on the fans right here in various areas. Still got this crappy, like, very thin grill. It all just looks very plasticky. It's like Roblox or something. It doesn't... Shit, I take that back. Some Roblox stuff looks better than this, if I'm completely honest. You can see some green poking through there as well. Yeah, as far as the model, you know, I'm not gonna know little innate details. You know, it's just stuff that I notice, stuff that looks funk, looks jank, and a lot of it does. I mean, this just doesn't look good at all. It's just not very sharp. And the lettering, just. Alright, so let's get in this sucker. Oh, and look at these steps, by the way. Look how thin these things are, man. There's just like nothing there. Invisible. Oh. Alright. Try and remain calm. Let's get inside. Alright guys, this is our internal view. I was not expecting this at all. Let's try the horn. It sounds like dog shit. Try the bell. Yeah, the horn doesn't sound that terrible outside. Inside it sounds just abysmal. Yeah, the looping's weird on it, but the sound itself is okay. It's definitely not the best thing in Train Sim Classic, but it doesn't sound horrible. That bell sounds reused after 5 million times. So that is our interior shot. What the hell? So there's no cabs with these things. Dude. WTF, man. Alright, let's look at CP. Okay, this is the CP rail variant with the, I don't know what exactly it was called, but when it was like italicized, the font, you can see the C is kind of squished down there. The color's just totally off. That does not look right. It's like very pink or something. Now the number boards and the font and all that look okay as far as I can tell to the real deal. There's also some issues back here as far as the number boards, the plate, and you'll see some missing textures here on the McDonald's drive-through window, which of course he had to add because it'd be cold in Canada. So you know, they have stuff like that. Largely a lot of it's going to be exactly the same. The handbrake on this one you can literally see right through into the locomotive, so that's hot. That's very entertaining. Was this one like that? What the hell, dude? Nah. What the hell, man? What is going on with this thing again? And again, this one doesn't have a horn either, so I'm pretty sure these had the horn to the back as well. I think they sat right about chow, or like kind of cocked to the side. I said cock. But it's got the white stripe along the side there. You know, the logo doesn't look great. It's just so fuzzy in some areas and so much like darker than the paint. It's just you got some weird shading, shadowing issues here with the flares. This hurts my eyes. It's really painful. Let's try and get in. Oh wow, what do you know? No cab. Alright, this is obviously the cheesy variant. And right off the bat, you can tell the Chessie, the Sleepy Kitty logo is just jank AF. It is like too far to the right. You know, none of this should be touching the marker lens there. It looks like total Duke. I feel like it needs to be shrunk like 5% and definitely slotted to the left a bit. But he does have the handrails, you know, painted the correct colors, you know, largely, or by and large. The font, you know, it was on the right track with the font here with the number boards, but they are, or they were, thicker. This is a little too thin. They were definitely thicker than that. You know, and the trio of coloring, right? So the frick, I don't even know what it's, black, orange, and yellow, or whatever the heck it was. It looks okay on the side, you know, the side, the body. Oh, look at this. This panel right here. It's non-existent. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord! This one does have the EMD plate. Congrats. And my dog just farted, and now I'm stuck smelling that for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I don't know why these didn't have that. So that's really weird. I mean, it's the same damn thing over and over here, right? So, yeah, anyway, the paint on the nose was definitely thicker. Like the orange bit here came down a lot farther, so this looks a bit too thin and funky. Some of these, you know, like I said, a lot of them were different. Some had the sand cap, you know, black, orange, you know, some had the headlight bezel painted, you know, so it's kind of hard, you know, sticking your finger and saying, you know, this is like that one-to-one, you know, with how they were over the rosters. Same deal with the horn. You know, a lot of them had different horns, and so this looks like a new horn model, and it looks very thin. Again, it's like the size is so god dang wrong. Look how tiny that thing looks. It should sit higher, and the trumpets should definitely be a bit fatter. And everything just looks super thin. I wonder if he made these or got them from somebody. But look, it's like the freaking model. God, what are the pieces on the back called? It's like reversed or see-through or some shit. Look at that. What the hell? Early access. Yeah. Yeah. And, shit, I forgot to do the horn on the CP. I'm sorry. Alright. Now we know they all sound the same. Let's get on to Confail. Okay, Confail. Again, the color just doesn't look right at all. None of these do. And this thing on the left, this Western Pacific one. Oh dear God! It looks like it was in a fire. Like the thing caught fire. And like when plastic melts under extreme heat. I know we're not doing that one yet. All right, Conrail. So number fonts look okay. You know, somewhat appropriate. It looks like it's got a weird ass like RS3 horn model again, but backwards or swapped around, which is too tiny and sits too low. The Conrail doesn't look quite centered up on the nose here. I believe it should be, you know, popped over to the left here some, so the crease in the actual nose is right between the N and the R. But it is not. It just looks like that. Let's see if we can notice anything else here on the fly. He's got the white painted handrails. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, so all the horns sound the same. Oh look, this one's see-through too. How cool! Sweet! That one's got a builder plate. Number on there looks alright. Except for that. I don't know what's going on here. Is this... See, I don't know much about modeling and texturing, but it's almost like this thing was made all in one cohesive piece, and then it was all weathered, instead of, I think a lot of people will put decals on top of a model, I think. I don't know how it all works. I'm not that bright. I mean, the logo and the confail and all that looks okay. Okay, well that's stupid. The conrail on the back is centered. The N and the R right in the crease. Why is it not on the front? Huh. And we'll check for the cab view. Alright. Sweet. Yeah, so there's, you know, there's stuff going on in here, and it looks largely DTM TBT-ish. As usual. Look how thin that stand is, man. What the frig? You know, nothing looks different in here. I'm sure when this does get a cab or interior bin or whatever, it's gonna look like this. You know, it's just... Nah. Okay, and last, and most likely certainly least, the Western Pacific, or WEPA. So the number board font looks wrong. And what the hell just happened to this thing, dude? It's like he tested some kind of other texturing on this one versus like these other ones with weathering. It literally looks like this thing died in a fire. Wow. Wow. The handrails are painted. Looks okay. It's not even like orange. It's almost like a pink. It's like a peach. Those numbers are big as hell. And they should go up a bit. And I'm pretty sure that these had a little designation here as well as far as the unit, which it does not have. These steps are unfinished. They're just super paper wafer thin. There's no paint. There should be some trim paint on there. Okay, there is on that side. I mean, the steps themselves still look bad. It's got the very see-through... Dude, this is just like that SD70 ACU that he released in early access. Same damn thing. You know, it's just like a model with no real, like, depth to it. This one definitely died in a fire. It looks horrible. Not only the texturing, but the colors. Like, what in the hell? It looks like some tropical railroad. Yeah, man! Like Jamaican railroad or something, the colors. It's just something super weird, and I think you could just fly through it here. Yeah. Yeah. This sucks. Wow. And what is this horn, dude? What is that? Just marvel at that for a moment. That is certainly one of the horn models of all time. So yeah, it's kind of another what should be freeware pack from Travel by Train. You know, he's obviously trying new things in the texturing department. Colors just look by and large wrong. A lot of stuff missing. A lot of textures flat missing. You know, body panels missing. It's just not... It's like the same stuff, just with some different texturing. That's literally all it is. Nothing else has changed, really. This is not worth $10. And this is one of those rare times that even to look at it and make a video, I'm never going to see that $9.99 again. And that makes me sad. This is one of the most uninspiring things I've looked at to make a video. Like, I almost didn't even want to. But I figured, what the hell? Here we are. So even though there's no cab, I reckon we will we'll couple the Confail unit up to the string of boxcars here and see what happens. Alright, we got our cars. It would appear that they have the advanced brake scripting. I think it's Mike's, aka Smokebox, who also did the advanced brake thing for other things, which I've never been a fan of. You know, to each their own, as always. But yeah, they're just a pain in the ass to use. Prototypical. There's your headlights. It's still got that weird ass like flare thing. It's like a starfish or a beehole, which both ironically go by the same name. So since there's no cab, all I can do is H and Shift H. Let's see. Trying to turn number boards on. Nothing's happening. Try to markers. C? Nope. M? Nope. J? Nope. Nothing. Okay. Alright, so let's cut these advanced brakes here. Oh, it's so irritating to use. It's almost no exterior sound. We'll give it a nooch. Alright, let's check our track first. Because we bout to run this thing, son. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so this is our cab view. Let's hang our head out the window here. I just want to check the physics. Now, we do have some cars on. They're not very heavy. They're like old school, you know, train sim physic type cars. I can't get the... God dang it. Stupid brakes. They just stick. It's like your freaking keyboard doesn't work. Ugh. Let's get the stupid F4 HUD up here. I really hate this advanced crap. I mean, do they think they're like luring anyone by it saying there's advanced brakes on it? Like, holy crap. This is what I've been looking for my whole life. Advanced brakes. Thank you, Jesus. Alright. One notch. Alright, well, the physics don't seem that crappy. It didn't just paya, you know. It took a minute. Notch numero dos. So these are supposed to be 16-cylinder 645 E3 sounds, which are turbocharged. You know, they kinda... You know, it's in the wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like the sounds. So it's hard to say that they're just wrong, you know? But they're just not very detailed. They are certainly custom. You know, it's take that how you will. Let's get away from these other locomotives here, making a bunch of damn racket, and we'll continue. All right, so we're rolling. Got no power down. We're just going to do it notch by notch and have a listen. Behold. Notch 1. Look at the wobbly wheel texture. It's like they're deformed. Like my friggin' soul after playing this thing. Notch 2. it's like, you know, it's so close. It's almost decent. It's got that wub wub, you know, that these things are notorious for. You know, it sounds like a freaking jet engine, which they're also kind of notorious for. You know, of course, it's not as good as some other developers. I don't need to say their name. I think we all know by now. You know, they're kind of there. And by that I mean sounded like what the thing sounds like. There's just little intricacies are not, and it's not mixed worth of crap. Notch 3. I love how it just cuts off. Like it's throttling up, amping up, and then it just stops. Notch 4. That one wasn't as bad. Notch 3 was noticeable. Notch 5. That one's okay. 6. That one's okay. 7. Eight. What the? What in the actual? It's not Jake, guys. Searchlight, you better watch your back, because you got sounds like these to contend with, guys. Watch your back. I think that's as far as I want to take the video and spend time on it. I'm gonna go shamefully eat like 3 cans of Pringles to try and wash away my sorrows of messing with this thing for the last 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Found it somewhat informative. I sure as hell would not recommend this. Yeah, it says early access, but it probably won't really ever change much. I mean, yes, he figured out a new way to texture things, but it's still got a long way to go. I'll give it, you know, I'll give it the physics. The physics are definitely better. Traditionally, TBT stuff just lurches, you know, slot car physics, if it were. So these do feel a bit better. Big, stupid, blocky, dynamic smoke. Lights look like ass. Of course, a lot of things wrong we went over. That's it. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.